Hello students, today we will be beginning with our second chapter in English, The Thief's Story by Ruskin Bond. He is an Indian author of British descent. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. He has won a number of awards along with Padma Shri in 1999 and Padma Bhushan in 2014. Some of his notable works are A Flight of Pigeons, Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra, and many more. Children, this is an interesting story of a thief and a young man. In this story, you will go through different emotions of trust, betrayal, and friendship. So, let's get into the story and understand it. Children, we will first read the chapter together and then we'll understand the story. I was still a thief when I met Anil, and though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was about 25, a tall, lean fellow, and he looked easygoing, kind, and simple, enough for my purpose. I hadn't had much luck of late and thought I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself, I said. A little flattery helps in making friends. So do you, he replied, which put me off for a moment, because at that time I was rather thin. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. What's your name? Hari Singh, I lied. I took a new name every month. That kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting, and throwing each other about. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. I followed casually. Hello again, he said. I gave him my most appealing smile. I want to work for you, I said, but I can't pay you. I thought that over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged my man. Children, the story begins with the narrator itself. That means I refers to the thief in the story and he is narrating his own story. Here he says that he was still a thief when he first met Anil. Now, who is Anil? As I had mentioned earlier, Anil is the second character in the story. So the narrator was only 15 and was very successful in his profession. When the narrator first met Anil, he was watching a wrestling match. Anil was about 25 years old and muscular man, but he looked very kind and easygoing. So children, the narrator was looking for a prey, for someone from whom he could rob. So he felt that Anil was the right man to rob. So the narrator thought of approaching him and wanted to make friendship with him. He took a step forward and told Anil that he looks like a wrestler. But children, he said this just to make fake friendship with Anil. Can you see the word flattery? It means false praise. Now, in return, Anil also told that the thief looked like a wrestler. But in reality, the narrator was very thin. Anil asked him what was his name. He replied, Hari Singh. So children, he had lied about his name as he was a thief. He changed his name every time to be safe from the police and other employers. Now, after their introduction, Anil talked about the wrestlers who were lifting and throwing each other. But the thief did not have much to say. So Anil just walked away. But the narrator did not want to lose his prey. So he followed Anil and said hello. He smiled at Anil to gain attention and asked him that he wanted to work for him. But Anil said that he will not be able to pay him. So the narrator just thought to himself that maybe he might have caught a wrong prey. Children, let's read the further part of the story. I asked, Can you feed me? Can you cook? I can cook. I lied again. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. He took me to his room over the Jumna sweet shop and told me I could sleep in the balcony. But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible because Anil gave it to a stray dog and told me to be off. But I just hung around, smiling in my most appealing way, and he couldn't help laughing. Later, he patted me on the head and said, Never mind. He would teach me to cook. He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write whole sentences and to add numbers. I was grateful. I knew that once I would write like an educated man, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supplies, usually making a profit of about ₹1 a day. I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he did not seem to mind. Anil made money by fits and starts. He would borrow 1 week, lend the next. He kept worrying about his next check. But as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. It seems he wrote for magazines, a queer way to make a living. One morning, he came home with a small bundle of notes, saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. At night, I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. I had been working for Anil for almost a month and apart from cheating on the shopping, had not done anything in my line of work. I had every opportunity for doing so. Anil had given me a key to the door and I could come and go as I pleased. He was the most trusting person I had ever met, and that is why it was so difficult to rob him. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed, but it's difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he doesn't even notice he's been robbed, and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. Well, it's time I did some real work. I told myself I'm out of practice, and if I don't take the money. So children, let's get into the explanation. Now the narrator asked Anil if he could feed him. So Anil asked him if he could cook, then he can feed him. But again, the narrator lied and said that he could cook. So Anil took the narrator to his room over Jumna's sweet shop and told him that he could sleep on the balcony. So children, at night the narrator had cooked some food which was very bad in taste. That is why Anil gave the cooked food to a street dog. Now the narrator's lie was caught because he had said that he could cook, but Anil did not tell him anything. The narrator gave such a sweet smile that Anil started laughing. Later on, Anil patted on his head and said that it's okay if he couldn't cook, and he would teach him to cook. He also said that he would soon teach the narrator to write sentences and add numbers. So the narrator felt very grateful. He thought to himself that when he will learn to read and write, then he can become a successful person and no one can stop him. So now the narrator started working for Anil. He made his tea in the morning and then he used to go to the market to buy daily groceries. He also used to steal 1 rupee from the money that was given to him to buy the groceries every day. Anil knew that he used to steal but did not mind. So students, can you tell me now, how did Anil earn his money? He earned his money by fits and starts, which means in short, irregular intervals. Sometimes he used to borrow money, and the other day when he had money, he would be lending it to other people. Whenever he used to get money, he would celebrate and go out with his friends. One day, Anil came home with a bundle of notes and told the narrator that he earned this money from the book that he had sold to the publisher. He also used to write articles for magazines. At night, Anil kept the money safely under the mattress of his bed. Suddenly, the narrator realized that he had been working for Anil for more than a month and had not stolen anything apart from the 1 rupee that he kept every day from the grocery money. The narrator had many chances to steal as he had the key to the room, but he was surprised with the amount of trust that Anil had on him, as he had never seen such a trusting person in his life. The trust thing was preventing him from robbing Anil. As the narrator thought that robbing is a careless person like Anil didn't make much difference, because he might not even notice that he had been robbed, and that took out all the fun from the work. Okay children, we will stop here for today. The next part of the story will be continued in the next video. So before winding up, let's revise what we have learned today. The first question is, at what is the narrator quite successful? The narrator is quite successful at stealing. What does I refer to in the story? I refers to the thief or the narrator in the story. Why does the narrator change his name every month? The narrator changes his name every month so that he could protect himself from the police and other employers. What favors did Anil do for the narrator? Anil gave him a place to sleep. He told that he would teach him to cook, write whole sentences, and to add numbers. So, children, we completed with today's part of the lesson. We will meet again in the next video. Take care.